I think what has marked this presidency probably more than any other in American history is the concerted efforts on the part of a certain segment of the population to discredit the president by any means necessary. So you have the silliness about the birth certificate, for example. You have the false rumors about his Muslim faith and that sort of thing. So he has sought to address this, I think, in the best way he can, to talk about his faith. And this is not something that is forced or contrived on his part, which I think is really quite significant. What's striking to me about listening to Obama is that he has a very developed sense of theology. So I think religion, faith is a very, very important part, not only of who the president is, but the way that he seeks to run his administration.
I thought about my own spiritual journey. Growing up in a household that wasn't particularly religious. Going through my own period of doubt and confusion. Finding Christ when I wasn't even looking for him so many years ago. Possessing so many shortcomings that have been overcome by the simple grace of God.
I think Americans like the idea of politicians being religious, or at least having some sort of moral guidance in the way that they comport their lives. And with Barack Obama, I think what's happened is that he's a politician. He understands the political landscape. And I think that even though he may have been reluctant to be so forward and so brazen and so explicit about his faith, he understands that this probably is what he needs to do at this moment. Ironically, in a backhanded way, it was Richard Nixon who brought the language of faith and piety back into presidential politics, because the culture of corruption that he had spawned around him. And we were ready then for somebody to come out of nowhere who promised that he would never knowingly lie to the American people. That brings the whole question of faith and piety back into American presidential politics. It is unthinkable now for a candidate to be running for the presidency without making some sort of declaration about his or her religious faith or convictions. So the lesson for politicians is, I have to talk about my faith. And I think some do so more sincerely than others, frankly, and this has become an important part of our discourse. I happen to think that the arena of public discourse would be impoverished without voices of faith. My objection is that too often we as the voters, we as Americans, accept these sort of vague, gauzy affirmations from our political candidates without really interrogating those claims.